All right, welcome back. Now it's time for us to get into some important conversations, community-focused segment. And today we're looking at, different stories here. But let's just remind you quickly of one of the conversations that we had yesterday. Of course, it was breaking news, actually, right here on City TV. And we broke to you the demonstration and the activities that happened on the demonstration by the group Arise Ghana. And I don't know whether you missed it. If you missed it, well, there's a lot of footage we're going to bring your way shortly. Today, they're going back to demonstrate. They're going to begin today from the LWAC Stadium. The demonstrators say they'll start at 9 a.m. Well, we're looking to see, we'll be there to cover if they do. And if there are any things that you need to know, we will bring it your way. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about wetlands and the way we've desecrated our wetlands in Ghana and the ramifications of our actions. It's going to be dire, but somehow, Ghanaians typically, the way we do things, we've sort of taken everything on surface level and taking a lot of things for granted. But the regional minister is definitely, on a warpath to make sure that our Ramsar sites are preserved if possible. Our colleague Caleb Kuda has a report for us. Let's take a look at the first one, a couple of reports for us. The first one is from the Sakumo Ramsar site. Let's take a look.
With the growing water crisis across the globe, wetlands remain a holder of billions of gallons of water for our use. Not only humans, but endangered tree species like mangroves, birds and other animals depend on this delicate ecological setup for survival. However, wetlands have become a premium turf. Real estate and private developers are biting hard.
What is left that has not been taken is about 20 to 25% of the whole size.
That means that 80 to 75% has been taken.
It's already taken. But then they don't have documents to make them own them. The wetland, by its name, has a lot of water in there. And so you building in a wetland, you are creating your own problem for yourself.
Some are building huge retaining walls. That won't help?
The huge retaining walls wouldn't do anything. Because when water wants to really damage anything, the retaining walls can't do anything.
In their quest to address the housing crisis, these housing agents are creating a water crisis.
When it rains, the whole place gets flooded. The whole place gets flooded. And I wonder why people will see these flats and still build. I wonder. Because I wouldn't put my money into building in such areas.
Yeah, kind of, they be a binary of a palm free, but still a mugusu or so if you grass is down and say, soon your crap, I want some chair. But Ucos is our issue to you. My so started to call them. Says Baby, one more says you to say, I'm afraid I am by you. By you could walk on more. Now I call warm.
Tata Jogbela has been fishing in the Sakumo Lagoon for more than 25 years. Instead of a bumper harvest of fish, here is a bumper harvest of plastic waste.
No man, say, it's a run on swab for once you need to break one every. And we take away name, tie in your money, my baby. Then almost say what down on the mono. A mobola, you know, almost a good issue mono.
I see.
Tiama is on the choker and a choky. Tiama, say, I am by Namun. First, no to net way back, what mean your number say pine, more pine be on Nibaku. But they said, the Nama say, Tiama, break one every.
Tata Jogbela must be thankful today. Tomorrow, there will be no lagoon to even fish in with a spate of destruction.
A time will come, the Sakumo Lagoon wouldn't be a lagoon anymore. It will just be bare land because sediments keep piling up and then there will be nowhere for the water to pass. We have failed as a country to protect our wetlands. And the reason why I would say we have failed is because, not necessarily because we haven't been able to protect the wetlands. We have failed because we have neglected the wetlands that serve us. So these wetlands serve so many, they give us so many benefits. Aside from the livelihood options, they protect us from floods, they protect us from shoreline degradation, they protect us from a host of other things.
The Sakumo Lagoon back in the days was regarded as a fetish. Natives recollect with gladness bumper harvest when traditional authorities controlled the usage of the lagoon. How then did mega houses emerge in place of bountiful harvests in a wetland? The Tema Development Corporation will fight back this allegation.
With all due respect, you cannot sell what you don't have. And this, as I've always maintained, from here, after this interview, you can go to the Ramsar. Ask anybody who owns any land over there whether TDC has transacted any business with them. Nobody can give you any documentation.
But now is not the time to...
Right, so this is it, the Ramsar site. It appears in this country we don't take anything seriously, and this is where we are. Unfortunately, 75 or 70%, of the site is gone, and we have authorities. We have people that we entrusted this in their hands. Anyway, Caleb Kuda is a broadcast journalist with City TV and City FM, and Caleb joins us in the studio. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, Fema and Kweku. Good morning.
I don't know. Good morning.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. How you felt interacting with authorities there. And looking at what was happening, especially around this time, rainy season and all that comes up. Personally, when you were doing this report, what was going through your mind? How did you feel about this whole thing?
It's sad, because wetlands, Ramsar sites, they're my passion project. We have about 5 Ramsar sites in Ghana. Yeah. Sakumo is almost gone. Is the one that is most encroached. And if the video had gone on a little bit, you'd have seen that even for the officials of the Forestry Commission who work at the Sakumo Ramsar site, they get attacked when they try to ward off people who are encroaching the site. So it's a hydra-headed problem. It looks like we are losing the fight, and so we should have done something like yesterday.
Losing or lost?
Well, if you've lost 80%, essentially everything is gone.
You've lost it.
But at least we have, if we can then protect it, that would be something to say that, okay, at least we've been able to protect this. And the last time I heard the regional minister say that there must be some regularization for people who have about the animal research. Yeah. After they demolish part, they regularize some. So if you're able to regularize a bit of what has been taken, and then the rest is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they are carrying more.
And so if you decide that we're going to protect what is left, and we are able to do that, at least that would be really good. Because for a long time you do these stories and you're hoping that something will change, and you're hoping that the authorities will see it. And in fact, it's not even that they don't see it; they know it better than you do. Right? And some of the places you can't even go because of the threats that are there. But they know all these. So I'm happy the regional minister is taking a second look at the Sakumo Ramsar site. I tried to do a follow-up to this story. I couldn't, because then you don't have the authorities willing to speak to you because of so many things. They explain plenty. So I'm happy the regional minister is taking steps to, enter the issue again.
Here's my challenge, Caleb. Every time, without, fail, every single time you find that there's some kind of an encroachment, whether it's a land or any kind of jurisdiction, and there's some kind of exposure or an intervention of sorts, and people are fighting back, as in your life is actually in danger if you try to go there, there's someone who is in authority who is manipulating behind the scenes. Every time without exception. Because guess what? If it was small time players, because these people, the people who are supposedly trying to stop the people, they are also people who have been mandated with authority. So how come that they cannot apply their authority? Because somebody higher than them in terms of the pecking order is manipulating. And my problem is that what kind of country?
You know, David, for me, I think that everything should not be about power. You know, what I'm trying to say is, if all authorities are thinking about is the next election, you have no business being in that office, because it will be a big indictment on you if you cannot effect change. Quite honestly, we have lost confidence in our leaders. And it's quite sad, you know, to say this, but that is the fact, you know, because I saw Okovandapoy try to bring sanity on our roads. He was fought back by his own colleagues. Now, Henry Cote is not being left, you know, alone to do his work. So if you call yourself a leader and people are trying to bring sanity and you are fighting them, you are a failure. You know, but don't forget that even if you go 2 terms, you will still go home. You know, sit there for 10 years, sit there for 15 years, you will go home. You know, these kind of things we should stop. Now, Caleb,
it's true.
When you got there, all right, now, yesterday in the dailies, we saw Henry Cotter say that he is moving to the Ramsar site, you know, meaning that demolition is going to happen. Do you think this call is justified? You know, we are in the rainy season. Now, it is very embarrassing that what people don't know is this Ramsar kind of stuff, you know, is an international thing
convention
we are talking about. So people come to the country to inspect the Ramsar site. Now, if they come to Ghana, this is our Ramsar site. People are building, we are filling the water body. So when it rains, I mean, a site that is supposed to collect water, you know, to help with flooding and stuff, nothing can be done. When you got to the grounds with stuff you saw, do you think that we really need to crack the whip? We really need to pull structures down just for make sure that all of us are safe?
I like it, the energy, you know.
But that's baby.
Something will happen. I sincerely pray something happens. And I have confidence in the regional minister. I mean, he is the regional minister. He is the compound prefect. He's the disciplinary committee chairman. He has all these MMDCs underneath him. If the, you know, planning engineers, maintenance engineers, people who give permits are, you know, may be the ones who are ensuring, either looking on, are complicit or are incompetent, whatever it is. If he says that, look, if you're not working, we're getting you out of the way, I think people are going to listen. I know that I know from my background sources that he had tried to do this much earlier. So in order to do this, then you need to get a report, you need to get documents, information, and all of this. So he asked for this as far as last year sometime. And then the authorities involved were supposed to present that report, said, okay, sector minister is lands and natural resources. So they've gathered everything that they give to the lands and natural resources minister. And then so they were hoping that there will be collaboration between him and then the Greater Accra regional minister. But from my understanding, he also went on to set up a committee to bring out recommendations. And we are where we are as of now. So I think now that he's going in there, probably he's done all his homework. So I mean, if someone's structure comes down, it must be a structure that should come down. And if anything happens, I'm trusting that everything will be legal, you know. And
because how come somebody can get, you know, the power or can feel so cool about moving. I don't know how I can wake up tomorrow morning, go to maybe Adabraka, start laying foundation. I don't have documents, and people, the Adabraka chief is sitting down watching, the elders are watching, the lands ministry is watching, lands commission is watching, assembly members are watching. What is happening? You know, so how can you justify that the people are there, they don't have documents, and you get up every morning and go to the office and sit down and see an unauthorized structure springing up? One comes up, nothing is done. Another one comes up.
Before you know, several.
And you are relaxed, telling us that about 80% is gone. Really?
Yeah,
and you go to work every day, and at the end of the month, you are paid.
You're making me angry again because
no, you should be angry because I think
I honestly lost that anger at a point because I feel sad. You know, you put yourself at harm's way to highlight some of these. It's not saying, look, let me tell you about the Aimensa Hill, the hill there.
Yeah.
If you go there right now, there are MPs who have built houses on roads, okay, and people people are clearing the vegetation on the top of the hill. So when it rains, everything is coming down. And experts have said that this is going to expose us to seismic activities, earthquake and all. Yeah, yes, sir. One time when the land gas chased us, took our drone and things, we had to beg them and get it back. So that's what I'm saying. That
no, but you know something. You know something. What we all have to learn is nobody foresaw COVID coming. Nobody foresaw airports will be closed. Borders will be closed. When they were closed, we all stayed here. We saw what happened. And to come for one day, one day this will happen and we will all die, leader or no leader.
I hope I don't because my try.
Well,
So I want to just say to the leaders who are watching us, in 1971, in a town called Ramsar in Iran, people sat down to decide that we needed, for the safety of all of us, to protect wetlands. Not just to protect wetlands for human existence. Because you see, everything is about the ecosystem. Of course. Every creature on earth is beneficial in one way or another to the entire ecosystem. So for even our very survival as human beings, these Ramsar sites are of critical importance. Now, some moron somewhere sitting in authority thinks that because of their own authority and power that they have, they can decide that they and their family members are going to be the ones who will benefit from the largesse of the national cake that is at their disposal. And so they will do what they like. Well, guess what? In Sierra Leone, a few years ago, we sat in Ghana, 2015, 2016, somewhere there. We raised funds and sent to them to help them. Why? Because this same kind of recklessness, scraping off the sides of hills, had gone on. Then suddenly there was a landslide of immense proportion that killed thousands. Ebri, it's happening. It's going to happen. You'll be there and be watching. And thankfully, it's not me or Caleb or Frema who has their house on that hill. It's you. Those in authority and in government. MPs who have money. When the hill comes down, you and your family will be inside.
But this kind of abuse of power, you know, I think that enough
you'll be in the building.
We go and
when it comes down,
then we come back. Then we
honestly, it's frustrating, isn't it?
If you will not do the thing, just sit down. When it happens, we are all here.
We'll be here.
But the sad thing is, you know, not all of us can afford to relocate our families elsewhere. Take the monies. Don't do the work. Posterity will judge all of us. Continue. This is Breakfast Daily. We'll be right back. Well, so the problem is not just peculiar to Sakumo. No. It looks like in this country, you know, it is just imploding. We've thrown discipline to the wind. Nobody seems to care, leaders and citizens alike. There's another story that Caleb, Charlie, what bro? Because apart from national security chasing you and beating you, you are going to do reports that nobody is even minding you. Let's look at another one from the Pembroke area, also a report put together by Caleb Kuda.
We saw your people, they were counting birds. They were counting birds.
Why do they do that?
Exactly.
Because we believe that the migratory birds are sentinels of environmental parameters. They migrate long distances from, say, Greenland all the way to Ghana, and they pick up cues in the environment, and changes in a habitat will impact on the bird population.
Professor Ya Ntiamwa Beidu is the chair of the Center for African Wetlands. Earlier, I joined her team to experience how the bird counting is done at the Densu Basin. I learned the names of some birds I never knew existed, not to think of existing here in Ghana. Some of them are African skimmers, terns, spare-winged plovers, black-winged stilts, common sandpiper, waders, among others. Seeing and hearing the birds chirp was simply surreal. Alfred Ali has counted birds for more than 30 years.
I'm using this counter. It's a counter. When I look through the telescope, then the telescope draws the bird near to me. And then I count them. Over the years, first we used to have a lot of waders, terns here. But this time, their numbers have reduced. We don't know what is the problem.
Dr. Jones Kwate is part of the team counting birds. He explains the importance of birds to fishermen.
Just behind me, you can see these birds. These are known as black terns, and these are important for the fishes because they use them to identify hotspots of fishing activities. So when you find the birds there foraging, it means that you have some fishes in the water. So these are very, very important. They are the terns, and we have different species of the terns. But over the years, we've realized that the numbers of the terns have gone down drastically. And these, we've over the years also observed that some people actually do hunt the tern species.
However exciting the bird viewing was for me, I was simply exhausted after 4 hours of walking.
Charlie, this place they are Ungo. I'm tired.
The team continued the counting while Ni offered to show me how a development in the Densu Basin is affecting the waterbirds.
This is a settlement at the coast. So behind Pambros we have these settlements, Viaman, Glefe and the others. So ideally these places are not supposed to be inhabited. But then we have some people who were here originally, and then there have been other squatters or settlers that have moved in as well. So this is a whole community on its own.
Riaboman is a slum built in water, trapped between the Densu Delta and the sea. The developments are scattered and unplanned. All it takes is a little shower and the township is submerged. But more structures are still under construction. The roads are impassable. But Jonathan Tete has lived here for 5 years and tells us how they get by. Not all human activities are a danger to the birds. Like these,
wherever you have the salt pans, it's like you have a collection of water. You could have some fishes in there, and the birds feel that it's safer to forage in such areas. So these ones are okay. But the negative anthropogenic activities could be related to wood cutting or firewood collection. The most important one here is development for residential facilities. You know, a wetland is actually naturally like a sponge that helps to control flood. So whenever there is flood, it holds up the water and discharges it gradually into the sea. But the more you build closer to the wetland, reducing the floodplains, the areas where it's supposed to contain the water, then the very core area where you are supposed to have, let's say, the ecological activities is being affected.
However, the negative ones are even more devastating, threatening Ghana's 5 coastal Ramsar sites. This trend, Professor Ntiamu Abedu argues, hasn't always been so.
You have a place like Sakumo Lagoon, which was considered sacred by the people of Tema Newtown. There is one species of heron, the black heron, that occurs in Sakumo. And because that species was protected by the people through their beliefs, it was a taboo to kill the black heron.
She professed the following solutions to reverse the occurrence, lest Ghana reneges on her obligations to the Ramsar and bond conventions to which she is a signatory.
We need to prevent people from building in the wetland. We need to prevent people from directing sewage from their homes into the wetland. That's what has happened to Sakumo Lagoon. If you go there now, it is thick mud, basically, rather than open lagoon water. And we need to empower the Wildlife Division to be able to manage the wetlands. They are the agency responsible for managing the Ramsar sites in the country.
All right, so that report there again by our colleague Caleb Kuda from the Pambros area. So you see that the chaos, the madness, the illogical way in which we randomly do things in Ghana, this nation called Ghana, is everywhere. A sandbar divides a lagoon from the sea. It should be kept pristine. But people have watched as settlements, not even decent settlements, settlements have developed. By now, they will tell you that they've been there for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You can almost not do anything about it except you compensate. But nobody should have lived there. Not a single house should have been built there in the first place. Caleb, I don't know how you do it. I'm upset this morning. And I like what you said at the beginning when we opened this conversation, that it's a pet project for you. It's a passion project for you. I feel the same way. I'm very emotional about the environment, especially about the despicable way in which we have managed our environment as Ghanaians. It almost reeks of insanity to see that we have people who we call leaders showing zero leadership and zero leadership capacity everywhere. I don't get it. And you see, we're going to take a look at another report in just a minute, where you see the regional minister speaking about his efforts, his intentions and his efforts to deal with this problem. And his own people,
you see, David, for me,
fight him.
For me, if we say that we are capable of managing our affairs, and so we need independence, and this is how we are handling ourselves, we are still living with a colonial mentality. You know why I'm saying this? Because if you are one of us, and it takes a day for your destiny to change, it takes an election for you to become an election for just one day.
Yeah.
And then you cross over from being like a normal citizen into leadership position.
Yeah.
And you cry that a system is not working. Because of that, we should do this, we should do that. Now, when you get the opportunity to be there, you start acting like some forelegs are better than other forelegs.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
We still have the colonial mentality that I am the boss, and so now I have to drive big cars. I have to live in a better area, and then everybody should do me yes, massa. We still are living in that colonial mentality. Now the sad thing is, we have citizens like us who are making these people feel safe, you know, because we are failing to hold people accountable. We are failing to make people responsible. And so you see people and, oh, honorable, oh, boss, oh, this, because of some few coins they will give you. Look, if the thing is destroyed, we are the ones who will bear the brunt first. Before they come in, they can afford to fly out. They can afford, because we are giving them that much power, you know, for them to boss it over us. For me, I think that we have gotten to a position where we need to see something happen, you know. And if we also talk about that, it's not just about people getting up, walking the streets, and the high brass band, and do soloku, then we go, we are protesting, then we finish, we eat cake, then we go home. Look, we are all jokes in this country. From the last person, as the baby who was born today, all the way to the top. It looks like we don't care, because my worry is, we sit down, we see areas that people don't have to build.
Fema, it's not that we don't care. People care. I mean, if people
No, but who cares?
No, David, I said David.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, but Caleb, my point is, in the first place, you yourself know that where I'm going to put my building, I don't have to. We also, as citizens, have a certain sense of responsibility. Okay? You know that I don't have to be here. You know, so what I'm trying to say is, even if somebody is gifting this area to you, you should be smart and sensible enough to say no. Because we allow people, the citizen would go and build there, authorities won't do anything, they supervise, it becomes a community. Now there's flooding, and the ill-resourced NADMO, we call them in with taxpayers' money, when we should not have even gotten there in the first place. So what are we all doing?
You know, you've been to Tetegu. When they opened the Wager Dam. Tetegu is very close to Pambos. It's not too far. And from that end towards Pambos, I mean, after this report, I went there again, behind the cement factory. You know, now there's a cement factory in the wetland close to the salt pond. Okay. If you know, that's good. I think the authorities still know it's good. We are creating jobs. If you go behind the cement, so, like, you see reeds. Those reeds, you usually see them in wetlands. Very long. Some of them are longer than some of the buildings that are being put up in the locality. And you find that all the way to the window level, water is just like, you find it all the way on buildings. And those who have money, they build like really huge pillars, like you see their mansions, very fancy, and it's in the water. But you know the funny thing? The place is salty, so the salt eats into the. So you see someone's house, the wall there, and went to say, and the salt is like is destroying everything there. But people keep building, and they are filling it with a lot of laterite and sand. And that area, it's under Patrick Kumo is the MCE. Honestly, man, if you go to Oblogo, the hills there, they are clearing it like if you are going to Kaswa, the wager, they are doing same. We've done about town, like, you're not we are so sad, still, nothing is changing.
And they just come and sit on TV and speak English to us.
We are so sad, nothing.
Look, if you call yourself a leader, just get busy, just start working, because as it stands now, are we happy with the state of Ghana? No. My worry is that NADMO doesn't have that money, you know. We claim we don't have money.
Government does not want to finance NADMO.
Look,
that's the problem.
If you don't have money, you do things that will not make you run into debt.
Thank you.
You understand? So if you don't have money and you are still living recklessly, as if when something happens, you have something to fall back.
The wager dam.
Yeah.
Those who created in their wisdom left some buffer. Around.
Yes.
Question encroachment.
Police station crowd next to it.
Well, let's take a look at this report, where we see it's by a colleague, Ni Aikwe Okai, the regional minister's intentions on what he wants to do.
Following the demolition of illegal structures on a 200-acre land belonging to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Animal Research Institute last week, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council engaged owners of about 4,000 houses also erected on the over 800-acre lands belonging to the Institute on steps towards the regularization of their documents bearing ownership to the lands for the past 30 years.
Fix the roads. Dumso, Yenyakadia. But I want to ask them, because they have not regularized their documents, it makes it very impossible for the assembly to go for property rates, to go for anything at all that you and I will need to fix our roads. So it means that over 30 years that they have been there, you haven't paid 1 cedi to government. Maybe why? Well, I want to hear it. So you are living there comfortably for 30 years, and government is looking for money from somewhere to do the roads for you. How does it work? The Regional Security Council has not got the mandate, and please listen to me, to regularize anybody's document for them. We have gone in, we have secured the place, and from today, we will hand over our recommendations to the ministry that has been mandated by law and by the president, of which lands are vested in, and that is the lands and natural resources.
A Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Usubio, urged the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council to provide its report to the ministry on the exercise for onward action.
Going forward, we shall be expecting your report. And you have already promised us that within 72 hours, you are going to furnish us with a report on what you've been able to do on CSIR land so far. The Lands Commission, through our minister, is mandating them to take the necessary processes to be able to regularize where possible. And that is the caveat, where possible, the lands that have been encroached to the encroached landowners. So far, we will still term them as encroached landowners. But then we are sending a strong warning out there that this should not be a gate opening for other encroachers to start encroaching on government land. And to be precise, Act 1036, the new Land Act that was just passed, it states that encroachers on government land, after their building or their property has been demolished, shall be prosecuted. That is the new law. So please, those watching us at home, those listening, this is a strong warning to everyone. Let government land be.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartey, added that investigations will urgently begin into allegations of sale of lands belonging to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Animal Research Institute, by some staff of the institute, and says persons found culpable will legally be dealt with.
The Regional Security Council, as part of its recommendations in our reports, will get the CID, Department of the Ghana Police Service, to commence investigations into staff of the CSIR. We hear, and that's a rumor, that some of them may be involved in the sale of government lands to unsuspecting people.
Henry Quartey also threatened the demolition of unlawful buildings on Ramsar sites from next week.
Those of you occupy Ramsar, Wombai, Wombawareje. By next week we'll be there, Ramsar sites. If you know that you are not seated properly, then take cover. Womba.
Reporting from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain for City News.
Right, so the minister says he is coming, and rightly so, because you know that you should not have been there. But if you also have documents, you know, for where you are, produce it. Let's trace it to the very last bottom who, you know, gave approval for these things, and let's take people on. But if you are a politician and all you care about is the next election, and so you don't care, allow the people to do whatever they want. If you sack the people from there, they won't vote for us. If you demolish people's buildings, they won't vote for us. I always go back to COVID. We did not see COVID coming. When it came and the airports were closed, you know, you can bulldoze your way through because you have power in Ghana. But when the US closed their borders, when the UK closed their borders, your power will not reach there. We will all stay here. The rich will die, the poor will die, the powerful will die, the no power will die. Let us all put our hands together and destroy Ghana. We said that Ghana doesn't have money, but how will Ghana have money? If the natural gift that God has given us, we are using our own hands to destroy these things. And you have people who sit back and because all they care about is power, they fight people like this. I like what Henry Quarter is doing. I like it because somebody must prove to be a leader. I am here to see that. And I think that if you are a leader and you are afraid of name calling
and all those of you who are fighting him, shame on
you have failed.
Yes.
And so if Henry Quarter is trying to bring sanity,
shame on
if somebody
everyone
like
that's
Oko
fighting him
was trying to bring sanity and you are sitting back and you are fighting it because you are thinking of election, what will benefit you and your family, God will judge you. This is a sin. And you get up every day and go to the mosque. You get up every day and go to the church. Look, stop wasting your time and everyone else's because you are not doing anything. This is not worshiping God. You understand? Because you sit back and you see what people will go through. You know people will die. Look at the number of deaths we have recorded this rainy season. Why should innocent people do that? Somebody selling maize somewhere. Her slippers fell in the drain. I'm just trying to grab my slippers. Right now, that's the last slippers. It's only the neko. And somebody is sitting at home, crossed your leg, eating fufu and light soup, and you are happy. And this is not a big deal, really.
And we don't account. You see, we don't count the cost of what it means when a life is lost. This is part of the problem. Because for us, and like Frema said, the person whose decisions cost this lady her life. You see, because it's always somebody's decision, somewhere along the line. And then when you trace it, you will see that the decision that was taken at this point to allow some less than intelligent human being to build at a particular place has created a problem. And so a certain kind of flood has come. Somebody has been tripped, fallen into a gutter. The person is dead. The blood is on your hands. You don't have a choice. Posterity will judge you. And you see, you can live, you can sit in your ivory tower. You can sit there and pat yourself on your back, feeling good with yourself and your family. No problem. But you see, one day, there's a day that is coming. It's called Judgment Day, where all men shall account for the decisions that you've taken.
Too much.
Well, yeah, it's true. But you see, that's our consolation and our hope. Because you see, at the end of the day, everything that you do in the body with your mind and with your hands, you will give an account of it.
The institutions must work and punish people now.
And sometimes Judgment Day will come here on earth. And so that's what
for me, we have seen people in power. You know, we've seen people in power who have flexed their muscles, who have done all these kind of. My government is in power. We are doing this, and have been ordered to get out of their V8 and V8 taken away from you. That is how it's done. That is how it is done. Yesterday, you were in office, you were showing big man shit. They will get you down, your best will form. They will take your power physically away from you. That is when you know that your property is at Weja. You will go and live there. We will all use that Weja road. The road that we are all sitting down, the Atalap area. When it rains, people can't go there. But you know that you have a big car. You put on your siren. Everybody will give you way. You will drive through, no problem. But power, you know, will someday. So don't worry. It will happen.
Let's make Ghana work for all of us.
I'm praying for the Greater Accra Regional Minister that they're able to carry this through. I also want the Works and Housing Minister, you see. It is Francis. It is, for whatever reason, it doesn't make sense to me. I feel it's evil for the Saglemi housing project to be lying there as an empty shell. And people will be building shanties and shackles in waterways and trying to live. we really have not provided decent housing for the everyday people. And landlords are taking 2 years rent advance. People's salaries have delayed for 5 months and you are taking 2 years rent advance. So if you're a young couple, you want to find somewhere, and you go to permit and the planning, those who are supposed to give you permits, you acquire legal land and they've sold it to someone else, you are frustrated. It's very systemic. We don't have decent housing, but there are houses that have been completed. They say they are in court judgment that yes, your call. We went to Saglemi last year or two, and then
you ask yourself, why are people not living at Saglemi? Look at where people live. Look at where our police people live. Is Saglemi not? Isn't it in a better condition than where they are currently living? So why is Saglemi wasting? Look, leadership is not in titles. Leadership is not in names.
It's been how many years now? If you say you are going to court, Saglemi and the Siwe.
Look, if people have caused financial loss, arrest them, prosecute them, but we cannot waste our money. You know, the Saglemi is just there, and we are all just doing A way, B way with the whole thing, doing politics with this. You know. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody. We are not seeing, I mean, if you claim that there's a problem, let's see you act. Let's see you deal with it. I always say that, look, leadership is not in a name. The fact that you are called a minister, the fact that you are called an MP, the fact that people are, you know, deceiving ourselves with honorable, doesn't make you a leader. If you cannot act and show that indeed you are a leader. So if you are there and you're always granting interviews to people, we are going to do this, we are going to do this, then tomorrow we come back, it's the same thing. Then other people come. Look, enough of the talk. If you won't do the work, stop. 4 years time, we'll vote you out.
I'll give you an
Let the other people also come. If you won't do the work, look, don't worry, we'll keep doing this. People say that, no, I won't vote. We will vote. But we will do so until a point where every party will come 4 years. We know that, as for Ghana, there is 8 years thing. That's why vote. But very soon it will be 1 term.
That's why I've been hoping that between the 4 years or 8 years now, then the institutions will work so that we don't have to wait, put our lives on hold another 4 years to try another person. Like, see, I'm saying that this is a huge scandal. That human beings are sleeping on the highways, some are sleeping on railway lines, and there are buildings like this. Granted, when we have those buildings, people who are sleeping on railway lines may not be able to afford those.
No, but what happened to the beautification of Accra? What happened to making Accra the cleaner city in West?
It's a project that...
You're not from Bassa.
You see, this is the problem, Caleb. I realize that we have high objectives. But you see, it's in thought. And as much as we talk about it and everything else, we're not willing to do the hard and dirty work that it will take to get us to that place. We are not willing to lose an election to bring development. Because you see, guess what?
No, but we said we are thinking about the next generation, not the next election. We said that.
No, yeah. That's why I said that we talk. It's not about the say, it's about the do.
No, we'll put our presidency on the line.
So here's the thing. Yes, the presidency on the line. I'm yet to see
the fight against Ghana.
I'm yet to see it because you see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you see people taking decisions, and here's where I have a problem. I had a friend who, back in the day, this is at least 15, going to 20 years ago. And he had just come out of uni, and he had a job at the original Registrar General's, place under the AMA. And he was telling me how every day he makes, so in a month, he makes more money on a daily basis than his monthly salary.
How so?
Okay. And this is somebody who literally plays by the book. So the money that comes are tips that have as our thank yous for work that he has done. Then he says that in his office, he's insulted for being stupid. Why? Because he does not collect proper money. Hey, think about it. Think about what I'm saying. He says that he makes more money in a month than his salary, but he is regarded as an ingrate because He's not collecting.
Like charge.
Yeah, he's not
Don't
charging.
Let
They are allowing them to tip you. We are not charging. Charging for work that is supposed to be free. That is it's your job.
But David, this is what happens, and everybody knows.
That's why I'm talking about it.
So that is why earlier I mentioned that we all have a role to play, citizens and leaders alike. Because that's why I mentioned
These
that
are the things that
if
go
somebody
on
gives
and allows
you,
people to build
somebody gifts you a plot of land at Pambros, a plot of land at Sakumo Ramsar site, and you think that you are excited, you are happy. Look, when the water comes, by the time NADMO gets there, you are dead. By the time NADMO comes there, your property is gone. Yeah. So look, we also need to set up these kind of things we do. Sometimes you don't even know where to start the solution from. Yeah. Because people would also fight. Why? When the politicians are coming, when the leaders are coming, don't they use people like you and I? And they will fight their fellow, citizens. Because no, simply because unyaka credit. The man will go. He will go with his squad. All of you will be out. Yeah. Follow politicians. They will give you something small. Be happy. They will gift you when you know that this is not the right thing. Instead of all of us coming together, to hold people accountable, because you will benefit a little bit, you are closing your eyes, following them, doing them bosu, giving them faith funds, being sycophants, following them. Let's continue like that. Let's do that. Let the politicians also act like they are working when they know within themselves that they are not doing anything. If you're an assembly member, continue pretending. If you're a delegate, take bribe. Look, all of us have failed.
The civil servants.
All of us have failed. So somebody comes to your office, something you need to do, you are just slowing the whole process down because you want them to grease your palm.
Yes.
Continue.
Have you seen children like a small boy? Maybe he has an ailment.
Hydrocephalus.
Then the stomach. Like, it disturbs me so much. I like social welfare. What is happening? Like
the social welfare. What do they have?
The dependent has not been financed. They don't have the money.
We say
to do
that
the work.
We don't have money. And I sit back and I ask myself, so all the monies we've generated, where have we invested these monies?
Have you noticed?
Because education is suffering, health is suffering, housing is suffering, just everything is suffering.
Have you noticed how when this 1 week somebody will say we don't have money, and then 2-3 weeks later you just hear in the news, it's there reported, a whole lot of money has been put into something
else.
But we didn't have money.
Like a cathedral.
Well, yeah.
Well, that is an issue.
If you want to go there,
where a consultant is paid up front.
That is an issue.
Or like a private jet.
No, you see, the thing is, we really need to have our priorities set properly. I know as we are speaking, some people are sitting somewhere insulting us, but look, it's not written on that. We just don't care because enough is enough.
And when it rains,
do you know the road I use to my house?
It's good, eh?
Do you know the road I used to? I want to stand somewhere to cut cake for some people's road to be fixed.
Your own is bad.
Do you know how my road is? If we talk about it, we should be doing TZ on my road. Yeah. We should be pounding fufu on my road just to create attention.
If you see my own, you won't believe Terminator is my uncle.
Can you imagine?
Oh, Terminator's nephew. If you see the road to my house, you will cry for me.
Sometimes when I get to my junction, I want to park at a filling station and walk because I feel it will be faster and easier to walk, than to just drive and go. Why are we putting ourselves in this? And you have citizens who will come at you, who will insult you. If you insult me, it doesn't look like I care.
No, it doesn't matter.
Look, you won't see me anywhere to insult me more, you understand? Yeah. So it's okay, sit in your office and insult us. But Ghana belongs to all of us.
All of us.
I have children. I have children in this country.
That is my
I will fight for my
only
children.
motivation.
Yeah,
Ghana belongs to all of us.
You will relocate.
You will join Atajua in the US.
Listen, you do what you want. We will do what we have to.
Fight for Ghana.
We'll make sure
and Ghana will work.
It's as simple as that.
Yes, this is not a Ghana that we fought the British for.
Caleb, one day we will be proud of the effort that we have put in because we will see the
Don't
changes.
lose hope.
No, that's why I say.
Because we need to continue
as long
with
as
the
I
work.
have breath, I will do the work that God has given me to do. I think everybody who feels the same way and they feels the passion for Ghana must do that work. You see, and listen, let nobody be mistaken. It's not about MPP or NDC. No. Don't be mistaken. We are looking at Ghana, and we are looking at why is it that the average Japanese man, when I heard this, I almost read on myself. The average Japanese 29-year-old, Caleb, listen to this.
Don't depress me.
Has over $10,000 savings in their bank account. The average. People have built their economies. They have built their countries. They have bettered the lives of their people. What about us? What are we doing?
For us, sitting here, we don't have the power to go demolish. We don't have the power to ask people to stop what they are doing. What we have is our mouths and the platform
to expose the ills,
to talk, and that we will do
on people to do the
if you like
thing.
take it.
Yeah.
If you like, don't take it.
I hope that those who sat down for people to build in unauthorized places too, I hope they'll be punished, because again, you see, that demolishing, it's a tough thing to do. Eventually, when it's done, it's all that
it's
little
a painful thing to do.
It's costly.
And
it's
you see,
costly. This is money.
You're going to displace people as well, right?
Yes.
It's you know, and our housing system is bazaar, and people have built like this.
See, they mentioned TDC. They mentioned TDC, and it was so sad, very sad, to see the posture of the TDC official you spoke to. You know, just stand back and realize that 80% is gone. We entrusted something in your care, and you are telling us that 80% is gone, and you don't even show seriousness. You don't even feel embarrassed about this. You are just saying it in a very relaxed way that, I think that's 80% is gone, so we should take it. And every day you bath and tell your wife and children that I'm going to work, and you go and you come back and you eat. Every day you go and they will pay your salary. And if your salary delays, you will fight.
Let me tell you one last thing. If you know Tema Newtown, is a poorer cousin of the Tema community. Tema man here. We went to do about town there plenty. People are living on refuse dumps and essentially like very serious situations. There's the Shemu Lagoon over there. Okay. A very huge oil refinery, private oil refinery, Chinese owned, is being put up there. And EPA said that it's in a waterway, so they are not going to approve it. Hydrology people did all kinds of things. As I speak, they are putting it up pretty well. And the place is flooding now because the Shemu Lagoon has been diverted and the new path is some way and everything is bazaar. Last time I checked, there was a video sent to me. A car, an SUV 4x4, it had flooded beyond the window level. The man was sitting on top of the car. They had to use caterpillar to go and pick him from the car.
You see, when we go and do these kind of flooding reports, you see helpless people, children, old women. They tell you this was not the situation, but we have sat down. The elders of this land are weeping. So a nation that does not honor its senior citizens is lost forever. So Abrewebia, they are sitting at home. They can't run. They have nowhere going. They have lived here for 30 years, for 40 years. This was not the situation.
And through no fault of theirs.
And somebody is thinking about their pockets. And so that old woman should die. Those children should die. Every day people are dying and we've taken it as normal. You know, say they will be big. Don't worry. Let it happen. So your own end is coming.
We're going to just... Caleb, thank you.
Caleb, thank you
very much. I'm not going to mention the name, but a friend of mine who works at the AMA says, I'm a staff of the assembly, and what is happening here is very painful. The technocrats within the institution are draining the institution. We'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.